Abused children or children who witness abuse has higher chance of being in an abusive relationship as an adult, either as a victim or an abuser. 34% of people who witness abuse as a child went on to be abused by a partner. When they become an abuser, it is their attempt to heal as they feel helpless as a child. And when they turn out to be a victim in the relationship, a huge part of it is because of familiarity. They try to relive similar relationship to get it right this time. We are going to review the issue through the lens of biological mechanism of neuroscience, as research shows difference in normal brain and the brain of an abused children. This is the brain of a healthy child, and this is the brain of an abused child. This child's brain is smaller and has enlarged ventricles and cortical atrophy, which means that this child will suffer developmental delay and memory issue. The development of the brain takes place the most in the first 5 years of childhood. Throughout this sensitive period, interaction with the primary caregivers are vital to learning environment and a primary developmental context. Both positive and negative experiences alike affect the social-emotional and cognitive development of the child. Trauma due to witnessing a threat to a caregiver was related to the most severe symptoms and increased hyperarousal and fear. Moreover, there are many parts of the brain that shows underdevelopment due to witnessing violence, such as decreased in size of the corpus callosum. The primary function of the corpus callosum is to integrate cortical functioning between the hemispheres. Decreased size of hippocampus, which is important in learning and memory. Less volume of the prefrontal cortex, which affects behavior, balancing emotion, and perception. Overactivity in the amygdala, which is responsible for processing emotion and determining reaction to potentially stressful or dangerous situation. As a result, people who have been through childhood abuse have a higher risk of substance abuse if they go down that path, because they have a harder time controlling their urges and making rational decisions due to actual physical changes in their brain development. Besides from the flaw in brain development, this also leads to the mixed-up pattern of love and fear. Sometimes for the victim, there is also a sense of familiarity and comfort in an abusive relationship, which is why victim will often return to an abusive relationship or will unconsciously seek out another. If the connection between abuse and love is made early in life, the feelings of shame and anger, which naturally happen as a consequence of the abuse, can become mixed up with sexual feeling, leading to confusion in the person who experienced the abuse, as it taps into feelings of intimacy associated with the abuse. It may sound strange, but the beginnings of romantic love are associated with the stress response triggered by your hypothalamus. As these feelings grow, the hypothalamus triggers release of other hormones such as dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin. Dopamine is associated with your body's reward systems. This helps make love a desirable feeling. The rewarding hormones the brain received while in love creates addiction within the brain. It's several important ingredients that contributes to someone's addiction to the abuser are oxytocin, endogenous opioids, corticotropin releasing factor, and dopamine. With such strong neurochemistry in dysregulated states, it will be extremely difficult to manage emotions or make logical decisions. In the presence of such addiction, there will be intense craving, a heightened value attributed to the abuser, and hyperfocus on the relationship. The victim's thought will often follow to make sense of these feelings. Her or his brain usually turn to self-deception and rationalization to resolve the cognitive dissonance, worsened by the underdeveloped prefrontal cortex due to their childhood. One of many ways victim can help their brain break a trauma bond is by facilitating the release of calming oxytocin from the amygdala. Igniting oxytocin receptors of this type can reduce cravings, ease withdrawal, and lessen pain. Is there any other way to rewire the brain of an abused victim?